So when we talk about fascism versus communism, there's a great battle between these two ideologies that in many ways have a lot of similarities, but they just hate each other. I think if Stalin and Hitler ever sat down and talked about killing people, they'd probably be like, yeah, man, we agree on a lot of things. But there were some very key differences between them that they just couldn't get their heads around. At one point, they did sign a non-aggression pact when they had a common enemy that was Poland. But later on, they just kind of hated each other, and Hitler stabbed Stalin in the back by invading the Russians in what was called Operation Barbarossa. So we're playing in the background the Soviet national anthem, and then the Nazis' national anthem is going to come in because they also even always contended whose national anthem was better. But Brad and I'm the fascist, he's the communist, right? And we are going to argue which side is better and what all of their beliefs are on these categories. Nation, religion, class, economy, women, land and property, foreign policy, history, and the rule of government. Okay, so I'm going to go first. So fascism, what is its belief on the nation? Well, they believe that the nation is one. They strongly believe in the idea of the nation state. That we should have one country. And in that country, all the people should be united as one people. And that the idea that we should be international or multicultural is where we become weak. So that's what makes us better, because we are strong in the nation.
What? You know what my problem is, Hans, with fascism? I think they think too small. Because in communism, we believe that one nation, one people, that's too small. We want world domination. We want communism to be a single ideology, and not just a nation, but internationally. The whole globe, okay? Communism throughout the world. That's what really thinking big, thinking large is all about.
We want world domination too. We just don't want anybody else to have the wealth. So. Okay, religion. Religion is next. Religion, what is religion? Well, religion's good. We like Christianity. Christ is good as long as those that follow Christ are Nazi. So you can be Christian as long as your ideology is Nazism or fascism, right? So the religion of fascism, which is the greatest ideology in the world, is really, the religion is the state. Worship the great leader, Monsieur. I don't know why I did that like with a French accent.
You know what? I kind of get, what's going on here. But really, for communists, we don't care about all this abstract stuff. We care about what we can touch, what we can grow, and what we can eat. We believe that religion is the opiate of the masses. Okay? What this means is that we think that religion is a system or a ruse created by the bourgeoisie to keep the proletariats quiet, to get them distracted, okay? To keep them dumb. That's what we believe religion is. It's a hindrance.
All right. I don't know what this guy's talking about, but I'm going to talk about class. Class is good. We love class. We should build a bigger social hierarchy, and that hierarchy should be me and my people. So, hierarchy is built on racial lines. So, if you're like me, right, you're part of the Aryan race, or if you are an Italian and you're part of the Italian race, or if you're Japanese and you're part of the Japanese race, then you're superior and you have the right to have all the wealth and all the power and all the land because you're a superior people. When we talk about evolution, you know, there's apes here and there's Aryans here and everybody else is somewhere in between, right? They're just unevolved.
Man,
What?
you're
You know
what? You know what? Okay, I can see the whole idea of singular race dominating the world. Or we continue to have all sorts of ethnic people so we could still have sushi, Indian food, Chinese food.
There's just nothing good as a good. There's nothing good. There's nothing as good as good German fare.
Man, when's the last time you've seen a Schnitzelhausen in Northridge? Okay? In communism, there's a class. We don't believe that there should be one dominating class. We think that, you know what, hierarchy should be just no more class. Get rid of it. No more class. Okay? Everyone will be equal. Equally poor. Everyone will be equal. And everyone is welcome so that we could have sushi, Indian food, Japanese food, burgers, and everything just under one place. That's what communism is about.
So I had to get the national anthems going again. You're right, Brian, you communist. Everybody was equally starving. Okay, so communism believes in an economy that is great and powerful, run by the state. So they do believe in a planned economy. In fact, the Nazi Party was called the Socialist German Workers' Party. They actually used socialism in the term. They actually only used that because they wanted to get the communists to join their party, and then they would radicalize them so they weren't actually communists. But they were socialists in theory, meaning they believed that all the people of Germany should be equal if you're a German. If you're a Jew or somebody else, then you're not equal. But it was a planned economy, meaning that the government did control the economy, how it was run, but they did use capitalism. So long as private business owners were German, right? We got rid of all the Jewish shops. In fact, the way that Germany built its economy is we took all the wealth from the Jews and all the Roma and all the people that were unwanted, and then we spread it around amongst the Germans, right? And so they did believe in private economy as long as that economy was driven and run by the Germans. And the other thing is they believe that the economy should be able to grow and flourish by conquering and imperializing other nations. So that's why fascism is better, because world domination.
You have to make up your mind. Is it either fascism? Is it socialism? Is it capitalism? Is it planned economy?
It's whatever we want.
What is it? Okay? In communism, we believe in a singular thing, an economy. Okay? There's a couple steps to get there, but we believe that the means of production should be taken away from the bourgeoisie and given to the proletariat. And in order to do that, we need planned economy. So actually, we do kind of agree on that. So planned economy, okay, to seize control of the means of production. But eventually, economy should be based on equally given out based on individuals' needs. The world should be so rich and so efficiently run under communism that really, if people don't want to work, the system has your back. And they'll give you money to kind of pursue whatever you want. That is the utopia, the economy of a utopian system that communism believes in.
Women. I love women. There's nothing better than a good German woman, right? By your side. But women have one role in society, to bear children. They bear those children, and then they give those children nourishment and love, but they stay in the home, and they just be beautiful, and they just serve my needs as a man. Right? That's what women are about, right? We should let them be educated and fit as a fiddle, but other than that, they stay home and they need to learn to do good German work and feed my beautiful German children. And ideally, right, if I take care of my women, maybe they'll produce me twins. That would be ideal because twins, it's like you have one woman, 2 Aryans out of one woman.
You know what? As sexist as your theory on women are, okay, but it's cool that you gave women like medals for having children. Yeah, that's cool. But in communist Russia, we actually gave medals to women for sniping and actively participating in the war. Our women
fight war gross.
Our women were equal, okay? Women were equal, okay? Not because they were able to bear children and that is their only job. We believe in the full potential of women as not just bearer of children, but also as workers and as the proletariat camaraderie that exists in communism. That's what we believe.
Gross. That's just disgusting. Women equal to men? Gross. Okay, next. Land and property. So, land and property should be distributed by hierarchy. So, if you are a German, and you are a smart German, and you are an industrious German, and you have a good bloodline, as a German, you should get more access to wealth and property. And so, if you come from good German stock, then you get more access to property, and therefore more power. And as we do that, right, it eliminates the riffraff, the mudbloods. That's a mix. That's a mixed race to mudblood. Actually, they weren't called mudbloods. They were called, I will call them midgelings, right? Gross midgelings. We get rid of them, and we give all the favor to good German stock.
Man, I don't know how you German Nazis get anything done trying to figure out who gets what and what everybody is called and, you know, who's worthy of this.
Yeah, you just don't give anybody anything.
I know, you're just gonna have to sit there being like, oh, let me just trace 4 generations of your German stock. Oh, okay, you get some of this. How do you have the time? In communism, there's no land ownership. Everybody owns land. Well, actually, there's not even ownership, okay? All of land, meaning the whole entire earth, is collectively owned. Owned by everyone. Okay? Who are we to say that certain borders should be drawn on this bright green earth, blue earth, okay? And say that some of you own this, and some of you own this, some of you own this. We believe that we collect everything that is good that is produced from earth, and we just divvy it out equally to everyone.
You know what I think? See this red smudge right here? That's what I think of your plans. So, next is foreign policy, how we treat other countries. That's simple. You can probably already guess. Imperialism. We are more powerful, therefore what they have is ours. It's like when someone has a house or like land, it's like, well, how did my house or that land get on your property? That belongs to me. Everything belongs to me, right? Because we are superior, therefore we have the right to conquer and control. And the word that we use for this is Lebensraum, which means we need to grow our living space because it should be ours.
You know what? This is pretty cute. The idea of physical expansion, it's pretty elementary, you know. That's what kids think about. And, oh, this truck is my truck. Okay? But in communism, we believe in ideological expansionism. We believe that the idea of communism is all that needs to expand into the world, okay, to create a pure society. We don't think in terms of, oh, let me just like walk into your land and pretend it's mine. We just say, here are our thoughts. Let me present you our thoughts. Let us teach you the ways of equality in communism, and that's how we expand. That's how we get into foreign countries and become communists. That's what we believe in. Ideological expansionism. Not this primitive ideas of land ownership and land expansionism.
Gross. Okay. Well, next is history. What do we think about history? Well, history is really clear. History has been a long line of great empires being built. And what empires were the most superior? Empires that were controlled by white people, and specifically Aryans. Our Germans, right, came from the great Holy Roman Empire, right? And our Italian brothers came from the great Roman Empire, and we need to return to those empires. It was in those empires that we were truly great. And so we need to return to great, strong leadership and European control over the world. So, return to empires of the past. It's really gross that those Americans, those dirty Americans who allowed Jews and black people to walk amongst them, right? They allow multiculturalism. It's disgusting that they embrace these disturbing words like democracy, right? That's the weakest thing I've ever heard in my life. I want a country run by a good emperor that can lead the people to greatness.
You know what all your great empires all have in common?
Amazingness.
Human suffering. We believe throughout history, your great empires, okay, they were all part of the same system. They were all part of the class system, okay, that created only unhappiness. Created unhappiness, and suffering. Okay? And communism is the answer to avoid this. This is a system where we will no longer have class systems, where historically every empire has had unhappiness and suffering. However, communism, no unhappiness, no suffering. It's a true fact.
Well, that's really cute that you think that, but that's pretty gross, because it's okay that some people suffer. If they're gross people, they should suffer. That's totally fine. So the last is the role of government. Well, the role of government is really quite simple. It is to control ideology. Everybody should have the same ideology. In fact, in Germany, we call this Gleichschaltung. Gleichschaltung. Everybody should be of the exact same ideology, because if we all think the same, right, then there's no inequality amongst us. If we all think the same, then there's no conflict amongst us. If we think the same, we're all unified. So the government makes us all think the same. So that's the first thing. It controls the ideology. It controls education. It controls our learning, our doctrines. And then finally, it controls the military. Right? They should be able to use the military in a way that allows us to achieve our highest and most mighty goals. Right? And that is world domination and racial superiority.
You know what? Actually, I can kind of agree with some of those. Actually, I believe that, you know what? A dictatorship that kind of controls the ideology, controls education, help people understand the true meaning of equality. Okay? Maybe even some military, just a little bit. Okay? I believe that is valid. Okay? But I believe that is just a stepping stone to a truly government-less. Without government, without military, without government organizations telling you what to do. Once we fully understand the meaning of unity and equality, okay, our final goal is a utopian society without government. So it's cute that you think that that's the final step. There's actually one more step.
See, but here's the reality, everybody. Here is the deep reality of it all. We want government. We want government to stand for 1,000 years. 1,000 years that everybody will worship Mein Führer.
You know what that's called?
Amazing.
Being short-sighted.
Yeah, you know what year? You're farsighted. You're thinking too much in the future. We want the here and the now, and we want our people and our race to have world domination.
Well, at the end of the day, if you want your people to, become the ultimate people, in the long run, communism is inevitable. There's no way around it. All this is just a step. That's just a little tiny ripple in the giant ocean that is communism.
I know something that we can both agree on.
What is it?
And we can even shake hands to this.
Yeah.
Is that we both, you know what we hate?
What do we hate?
We hate dirty, damn liberals.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Can we shake hands
Yes.
on being against liberalism?